my name is Velo. I am 15 years old. I go to Comm High School. When I was 6 months old, I was diagnosed with BCSS.
So can I ask everybody a question? Who's ever heard of velocardiofacial syndrome?
Maybe.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was 20 years old, I had my first child, Destiny. That was 15 years ago. I was told I was going to have a normal, healthy baby. When I had her, she didn't have a cry. She was very faint. And I knew immediately, even though I was a new mom, that something was wrong. The doctors kept dismissing it. 6 months later, we had a genetic test done and was found out that she had velocardiofacial syndrome. So for 15 years, it has been quite an interesting road. We've had a lot of stuff going on, but you know, it is what it is. And she's been a miracle baby of mine and something I hold very close. So what I hope to get today is for you guys to understand this syndrome, to know what happens to, you know, the characteristics of velocardiofacial syndrome, how you know somebody has it. Also, to give you a little bit of the treatment options for those that have velocardiofacial syndrome, and also the life expectancy of a patient with velocardiofacial syndrome. So to find out a little bit more about what velocardiofacial syndrome is, I looked up online on all of my resources today are from the school resource page. And Dr. Linda Galabresi, in an essay called Q&A on the Sydney Morning Herald in July of 2006, gave me all the information I needed to explain it. So before we get started on exactly what it is, let's break the 3 words down. Velo means palate, cardio means heart, and facial means face. All these 3 parts of a patient's body will be affected through their life by velocardiofacial syndrome. Now, to make it a little easier on me so I don't get stumbled, we're going to down it to VCFS, just so you guys are aware. So, I also learned from Dr. Linda that it is a 22nd chromosome deletion. Every human has 48 chromosomes in each cell of their body. What happens with the VCFS patient is that they have the 22nd chromosome deletion, so they're missing half of their chromosome. It is the 2nd leading genetic cause in the world that is unknown. A lot of people don't know about it, so I just thought that was interesting. 1 in 2,000 babies a year will be diagnosed with velocardiofacial syndrome. The only way that you can find it out is the doctors don't have an exact name for the blood test. The doctor told me we go fishing with the blood cells. So they put the blood cells under the microscope and they dig into each cell and find out what is going on with this child. It's either excess chromosomes like Down syndrome or minimal chromosomes like VCSF. So in order to go over the characteristics, I looked up an essay also on the resource page through the school, a certain list of mysterious syndromes, which is about velocardiofacial syndrome, by Clara Pirani in the magazine The Australian in October 2006 as well. One of the characteristics is 75% of patients end up with the submucous cleft palate. That is where the back of your throat is not closed. As you can see here, this is a normal cleft palate, or this is a normal palate, and this is a cleft palate. Destiny actually did have a submucous cleft palate. Makes it extremely difficult to breathe and eat. 75% end up with heart defects, 77% are immune deficient, and 90% have facial characteristics of the elongated face, the narrow eyes, the left eye is usually droopy. 90% have developmental and learning difficulties, 75% have speech delay, and 35% have feeding issues. That's usually brought on by the cleft palate. Destiny ended up having all 3 of these. She's now at a 7-year-old age level mentally, but in a 15-year-old body. She has a major speech delay, as you guys saw in the video. That's how she talks all the time. And she had to have a feeding tube for the first 2 years of her life because of the cleft palate. So in order to go over the treatment options, I looked up an essay called Treatment Closer for Children's Defect by Miranda Foster, which appeared in the National Wire News in July of 2011. She talks about these specific options being held for children with VCSF. Cleft palatal repair, you'll go to a craniofacial team. They will go in and plastic surgery your closure. Destiny had 6 of these from the age of 2 to the age of 12. She had 6 of them. Heart surgeries, Destiny's had 2 heart surgeries. But also, if you have just a heart murmur, the doctors will usually wait it and see. Heart surgery is the last option, but with Destiny, it was literally killing her, so we had to go in. Antibiotics for immune deficiency, and IEP plans. Does anybody know what an IEP plan is? It's an individualized educational plan for children with special needs. The schools will go in and get them clearly aligned to special needs, special educational programs. Speech therapy for those with submucous cleft palates is definitely needed. Destiny's had it since age 1, now she's 15, still gets it. Feeding tubes, as I mentioned, you know, sometimes when you don't get the nutrition, you do have to have a feeding tube. So, looking forward onto their life, a VCFF patient has 100% likelihood to give that genetic disorder to their offspring. So they need to know this before they have children. Independent living is unexpected because of the developmental delays that they have. They will most likely live in a facility somewhere or with their parents. They do have a long lifespan. If they get the proper health care, they will end up living just as long as anybody else. So today I've gone over velocardiofacial syndrome, what it is, the characteristics of patients that receive velocardiofacial syndrome, and also what can happen with their life. So what I expect is that I hope that you guys will take this information and move on and get more clarity on it and maybe do something to try to find a cure for it.
Not many people have heard of velocardiofacial syndrome, yet it is the second most common genetic disorder in the world, affecting 1 in 2,000. Individuals born with VCFS face a myriad of associated health problems. Help can be hard to find, and often people just don't know where to start. The VCFS 22Q11 Foundation offers information and support to those affected. For more information or to donate, please visit the website.
So I just ask that you guys get involved. Thank you.